Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in Argentina. It's great to be here in Buenos Aires, in this wonderful city and wonderful country. Thank you for having me. So, honestly, I have to admit, I'm facing a serious challenge this morning. I have 45 minutes to discuss with you one of the key challenges I discuss with leaders all around the globe and also here in Buenos Aires. It is the question how to future-proof your business. Difficult one. So, as we don't know each other yet, let me start with a simpler question. So who in this room is older than 18 years? Show me your hands. This is great because I have good news for you. You live longer than most companies in this world. A recent McKinsey study found that the average lifespan of companies in the Standard & Poor's 500 was in 1958, 61 years. Today, it's less than 18 years. And technology is one of the drivers behind that change. Technology is disrupting every industry. And companies either need to disrupt or are likely to be disrupted. Well, now that we know each other already a little bit, let me ask you another question. 137,000. What does this number mean? Any idea? No idea? SAP customers? No, far more. It is the average number of companies founded every day. And this amounts up to 50 million startups per year. 50 million companies with innovative ideas. 50 million companies partly very well funded. 50 million companies that share one common goal: to gain market share. Your market share, our market share. True, not all of them survive, less than 10%, but this is a competitive threat that we all face. So when we discuss how to future-proof, we need to discuss how to change. And the main reason great companies die, aside from being acquired, is that they fail to anticipate and to respond to new technologies, new customer requirements, new competitors. And in particular, larger companies are oftentimes like supertankers. It takes a long, long time to change direction. The bad news is, we don't have this time, right? Technology is advancing exponentially. And you can consider technology as a threat or as an opportunity. You here in this room, you are at the forefront. You're not a cost center. You lead technology, you lead advancement. You have the ability to translate technology advancements into innovations and into business value for your companies. So, and we see already the dawning of the next industrial revolution. AI will change everything. Regardless of the industry, predictive, prescriptive, generative AI changes the way how we run, how we manage, how we operate our businesses. With a tremendous economic impact. The impact is expected on the global economy in the next 3 years by Morgan Stanley up to 4.1 trillion US dollars. The good news is you can participate. You can participate in that growth, in that value creation, and we as SAP are here to help you and to support you on that journey. But to succeed in this hyper-competitive environment, you have to have the right foundation for and in your IT strategy. And BTP is the platform that brings together key capabilities you need to innovate and to transform in the cloud. It is a unified platform which is opinionated and optimized for SAP, yet open and a good citizen in a heterogeneous environment. So I assume you all know this architecture and have seen it before. We as SAP, our key value proposition is not just to deliver plain technology. SAP stands for best-in-class, integrated, end-to-end business processes. And herein, BTP plays a crucial role. It is for us as SAP the foundation of our very own technology and integration strategy, to bring all the portfolio pieces together and to deliver integrated, best-in-class processes. We as SAP, every new software, every new innovation that we build on BTP. And the same platform that we as SAP use, we deliver to you as our customers and our partners so that you can innovate and transform in the cloud. And we bring together application development, automation, integration, data and analytics, and AI in one platform. Now, when we speak about AI, BTP is the foundation for our business AI strategy. What does it mean? We infuse AI as embedded capability into our LOB applications. For example, when you want to create a goal in SuccessFactors with generative AI, when you want to create a summary of an account in CRM, the AI capabilities you use behind the scenes are infused through the BTP. Second, and I will speak about that later in more detail, we infuse AI into the BTP capabilities so that you can generate code, that you can generate processes, that you can interact in natural language with SAC, and a lot more. And thirdly, we provide intelligent services. We provide the generative AI hub that gives you access to the leading large language models and help you to create your custom application. So BTP is the foundation of our business AI strategy. And it is founded in cooperation with the leading partners and the leading vendors of generative AI and large language models. And we abstract here with our AI foundation and give you the opportunity through the BTP to access these capabilities. Now, when we speak about BTP and the platform, we easily come along the question, why BTP? I mean, let's face it, there are multiple other platforms out there. We are not alone. And I assume all of you are anyway dealing and working with other platform vendors. So why do we need BTP? What's different? The key differentiator of BTP is what we call business centricity. And let me explain what I mean with that. Business centricity is our unique value proposition, and it starts with the semantics, with the business context. And let me explain one example. When you want to do a financial analysis, you can extract all the tables of an ERP system, or at least a fraction, and dump it into a data lake. And then you can start working with these tables and build your analysis on top of these tables. You can. But if you really want to understand how a business partner, a sales order, etc. are made up, how these tables are interrelated with each other, if you then want to do that analysis and consider, wow, we have a deviation between the calendar year and the fiscal year. We have different currencies. Oh, wow, we have a financial hierarchy in it. The business partner changed in between, and we want to govern the access that only those people who have access to this data in SAP have also access to that analysis. You face a significant challenge. And this is what we mean with semantics and semantic access that we can preserve in the BTP. This is just one example. The next one is, we are not just a technical platform for IT folks. We are business user-friendly. When you consider low-code capabilities for last-mile extensions, when you consider self-services in SAC and other capabilities where the business directly uses BTP capabilities. And thirdly, we are focused on business outcomes. We are not just a technical toolbox, a Swiss knife. We are enriched with a lot of business content and business accelerators. When you look, for example, at the Business Accelerator Hub, api.sap.com, there you find a lot of artifacts, pre-configured workflows, bots that help you to, for example, create sales orders from an Excel spreadsheet. If you look into integration flows, pre-configured, all of this helps you to de-risk and to accelerate the projects. And this is what we consider as business centricity, to help you with your business challenges. And all of this is founded on basic qualities. One for sure is enterprise readiness or enterprise grade. That we are available, resilient, that we adhere to security and compliance standards. I mean, this is a given in the cloud, and we adhere here to the highest standards. Second, it is the unified platform for the SAP domain and the SAP ecosystem. If you build up the knowledge how to build an application and extension on the BTP, you can apply it then to extending cloud ERP, and at the same time you can extend SuccessFactors or any other application. So you build up the knowledge once and then can leverage synergies in this unified platform. And thirdly, I mentioned we are opinionated and optimized. True, yet we are open. All of you are using not only SAP, except for the SAP folks here in the room. You are using various vendors, and we acknowledge this, and BTP is a good citizen in such a heterogeneous world where we connect and integrate, even with our competitive solutions, be it a Salesforce, be it a Workday, you name it. We provide the content, we provide the connectors. It's already there in the BTP. The typical scenarios where BTP comes into play in a digital transformation are the first one, modernization. These days we hear a lot about and speak a lot about clean core as one of the key strategies how to build a resilient and lasting architecture with a core that is, I wouldn't say untouched, but unmodified, and that your extensions are decoupled from SAP code to ensure that the core, that your ERP remains upgradable, that you can benefit from recent innovations. And in that strategy, BTP plays a key role. It is the strategic development platform. It does not mean that you must not develop anything on Stack anymore, but the strategic development platform is BTP. Second, every SAP landscape is tightly integrated. SAP to SAP, but also SAP to non-SAP. And with the BTP, with the integration suite, we support multiple integration patterns. And if you, in particular, think about modern architectures, we bring in an API-led integration. We bring in event-based integration that help you to build a future-proof architecture and a future-proof landscape. Thirdly, the data inside your SAP environment, this data is amongst the highest valued data assets in your company. And with the BTP, we bring in the entire stack from the multimodal HANA Cloud database as persistency, with DataSphere as the data management layer that helps you to build a data fabric to combine the SAP data assets, preserving the semantics as I explained before, and then enrich it with non-SAP data. And on top, SAC as the layer to analyze and plan based on these data assets. And finally, innovate. It is about differentiation, to be ahead of your competition and make use of innovative capabilities, be it generative AI, and I will share some examples later today. So with BTP, you have everything at your fingertips that you need to future-proof your business. And I'm proud and humbled at the same time. As of now, we have more than 27,000 customers live, not signed contracts, live, productively using SAP BTP. And amongst them, we have the most iconic brands. For example, Apple just shared during Sapphire on stage how they use BTP. And it's really impressive when you hear and listen that 60,000 employees at Apple get in touch with BTP on a daily basis. That BTP is their first choice for extension and integration scenarios. And it is not only the largest company, BTP is used across all geographies, across all industries, and across all sizes of companies. And let me share with you 3 customer examples. The first one, a company, Homemade. It's an Australia-based company. And the context is that people in Australia, the population of people older than 65 years was made up to around 16% of the population in 2020 and is expected to be around 22% by 2026. So the amount of people that are belong to the elderlies is continuously growing. And the Australian government offers financial funds to support these people, and in particular to support in-home care, which means the people stay at home and get access to certain services. And the traditional way is that providers establish then a plan for these customer funds and equip them with caregivers and assign certain services, physiotherapists and other services they may need. The problem is, this is, let's say, very error-prone partly. The elderlies don't have a real choice which provider they want to take. It's a very costly process because many manual steps are involved. And Homemade, which is a startup, is disrupting the home care industry in Australia with significant growth rates. What they did is they established a digital platform where they bring together the caretakers and the service providers, the caregivers, and enable the elderlies to manage these funds by themselves. And you can imagine people over 65 years are not the digital natives by themselves. So it requires the highest user experience and usability requirements to make this work. And they see great success because the administrative effort is significantly lowered. With this digital platform based on BTP, they help the aging population and give them more access to services because the administrative fees are significantly lower. And this has even been audited by the Australian government that take a very close look at these kind of providers. The second example, Ferris. It's a Belgian water supply company. And the situation they faced was that they had a very manual process to collect metering data in the beginning. So how much water was consumed, etc. And then they started establishing smart metering. But not only technologically collect data automatically through smart meters, but build a digitized end-to-end process where they use this data in all their back-end processes based on BTP, and additionally offer a customer portal where customers can directly interact with Ferris, can look at their invoices, can change their address, for example. So when customers move, it was a very manual process before. Now it's entirely digitized, and they can even benefit from capabilities like machine learning to detect anomalies and to detect leakages, not only once a year as before when they collect the data, but more or less on a daily basis. Again, based on BTP for an end-to-end digitized process. And the third example I would like to share is Döhler. It's a global company based out of Germany, and they are developing natural ingredients for the food and beverage industry. So take an example, a special flavor in a drink. So their problem is they develop hundreds of recipes per day. And many of these recipes are customer specific. So when I order a specific flavor, I don't want Döhler to sell it to my competitors. So this leads to the fact that they have a very, very large database of products equals recipes they developed over time. Hundreds of thousands of recipes. And each of these products or recipes has around 100 attributes. Alcohol, smell, color, flavor, you name it. And it is very, very difficult to find a certain recipe that was already developed. And you do not want to reinvent the wheel over and over again. And this applies not only for Döhler employees, but also to their customers. And in the past, they had to, let's say, select the number of attributes to then identify and narrow down for specific queries how to find the products they already developed. So what did they do? They used the Gen AI hub of BTP. They used the HANA Cloud embedding and vector engine to implement a natural language interface. This allows Döhler employees as well as their customers to search in natural language for specific products and find them easily. And not only the dedicated products, but also get recommendations for similar products. So for example, when you search for grapefruit, you may also get a recommendation for orange flavor or lemon flavor, but not for wood or rose. And this helped them a lot to ease their customer interaction and to speed up their internal processes. And I would love to talk about more customer cases because honestly, this is one of the coolest topics of my job, that I see so many great cases customers built on BTP. And we as SAP, we are investing a lot in the further development of the platform. And while we speak, we have a competitive event, SAP TechEd. Yesterday and today, it's a 2-day virtual event where you can learn a lot about BTP and also other products. And I can only encourage you, please not today, but when you go home, to take the time, it's free of charge, and take a look at the TechEd keynote where you get 1.5 hour condensed information about the hot topics in the SAP space, and also take the opportunity to look into one or the other expert session. I would like to walk very quickly through some of the key innovations, not to go into detail for each and every innovation, but to give you a sense of what is currently happening on BTP. And I will go through the capabilities, starting with application development, automation, and then continue with the other capabilities. So one of the key announcements of TechEd is that we bring together in SAP Build everything you need to develop and to extend SAP. This includes, as of now, also the ABAP capabilities. So we bring the worlds closer together, because in fact what we see is we oftentimes see fusion development, we see hybrid developments where people work on the ABAP side of the house, where people work on the JavaScript side or local side of the house, but we need to bring this closer together, and we made the first steps with TechEd now, and we are continuing on that journey. The second one is that we invested a lot in AI enabling our ABAP capabilities, so that we support you as our customers to explain existing ABAP code through generative AI, that we help in transforming ABAP classic code to ABAP cloud code, and that we enable ABAP developers with the ABAP SDK to natively use generative AI capabilities directly out of the ABAP code. So this pushes the ABAP environment a lot. Then when we think about build process automation, as of now you can already describe in natural language a process, and we generate the process and the needed artifacts. And we are doubling down in developing so-called agents that can even better interact with each other and automate very complex tasks. So recommend having a look at the improved process automation capabilities on the BTP. The next one, in the integration suite, we, as I mentioned earlier, allow you to also there describe in natural language process flow that we then generate for you, and we support you even more in improving the scripting, so you can use in integration suite, in integration flow, custom scripts, and with generative AI we analyze these scripts and help you to improving, for example, the performance of the script execution and to make them even better. When we think about DataSphere, we enrich DataSphere with built-in data lake capabilities, so that you can use the object store, that you can use query language to work with data lake capabilities as part of the DataSphere and data management offering. When we speak about HANA Cloud, the anyway multimodal database where we allow you to not just have a relational database, but also make use of spatial data, make use of machine learning, make use of the vector engine, we now at TechEd announced the knowledge graph capabilities. Knowledge graph is a semantical graph that describes dependencies between objects, and this helps a lot to, for example, give recommendations to customers. If you want to semantically enrich Gen AI capabilities with the knowledge graph, so this makes HANA Cloud even more the leading database in the cloud. And finally, when we look at the generative AI hub, we enrich the Gen AI hub capabilities with a lot more large language models. You can find an overview in these TechEd sessions. We allow JavaScript developers with an SDK to natively use the Gen AI capabilities and a lot more. So this was just a very rough rush through. And in the Roadmap Explorer, you can find a lot more innovations. And we develop around 1,000 roadmap items per year on the BTP. And the final one I would like to share with you is that we, given the high demand that we see for BTP, that we extend our BTP footprint in hyperscaler-based data centers, but also start deploying BTP on SAP data centers. And for Latin America, we are, as of now, available on AWS in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and we will extend our footprint on Azure and on GCP also in Brazil. And in the Roadmap Explorer, you find for all these capabilities a lot more, and I can only encourage you to take a look there and also take a look at the TechEd keynote. Before I come to the end, during the first industrial revolution, William Pollard said, "Learning and innovation go hand in hand. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow." So I encourage you to be curious, to learn, and with regards to BTP, we deliver, and you mentioned it already this morning, a lot of materials, enablement materials, free of charge. It's right at your fingertips. And I will share some quick documents with you. One is, if you want to learn more about our strategy for BTP, there's a great strategy paper out there. You can, and we will share the slides, where you can find more information about our BTP strategy and how we develop the platform further. Second, the SAP Discovery Center. It's a publicly available website that comes along with so-called missions that help you as a step-by-step guidance how to implement use cases in your environment. Second, it is the source of reference architectures. And thirdly, it is the service catalog where you can find all services that are available on BTP. The BTP guidance framework is made for administrators, for developers, and for architects. It comprises a lot of best practices. So if you want to learn how to build an enterprise-grade application on BTP, go to the BTP guidance framework and you will find everything you need. And the final one, you mentioned it, learning.sap.com, is the source, again, free of charge, to enable you from your first steps on BTP up to deep dives on every product that we offer on BTP. So back to the initial question, how to future-proof your business. Well, the answer is comparatively simple. Future-proof your business with BTP. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.